Javier Pérez joining us, a legal expert, wide range of experience he has. His own firm, by the way, works with Crain Brogdon as well, LLP. There's a company, I thought this was really interesting, a moving company. They tout their young, chiseled workers. You've seen these type of moving companies have the special college frat men taking care of your business. Feds say that's age discrimination, and that really kind of surprises me. Javier, thanks for coming on today. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, it's a really interesting case.
This is a company called Meathead Movers, and they said this is age discrimination. But, it seems like you're dealing with movers. You're not going to have a lot of 60-year-olds out moving furniture.
That's right. You wouldn't think that would be kind of the general population in those roles.
How is this age discrimination, though?
So the allegation, at least, is that, it's discouraging older people, non-college age people from applying. And then I did read that there was an issue with some of the hiring notes when they did have somebody who was not college aged apply and not get hired. So it's kind of two different areas.
So they're talking about that maybe they made the note saying we can't hire this guy, he's too old?
Yeah, there was something about this is not going to be a culture fit because of this person's age.
But I guess where does common sense come into this, though? I mean, for example, if I'm running a health club and a 400-pound guy comes in and said, I want to be your receptionist, the chances are good I'm not going to hire that guy because he's a bad image for my company.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I think there starts to be some kind of more complicated scenarios like that you're talking about. Really, the trick is that the job requirement has to be reasonably related to the duties of the actual position. So where the person's appearance or physical capabilities is essential to the job, absolutely that becomes part of it. What the law says is that if it's really not about that, then you can't use it as part of your decision.
I have no problem with age discrimination, and I think there's a lot of it that goes on in companies these days, and I'm glad that somebody's on it and looking at it, but I think there's also some realities that have to come into play, some just recognition that certain jobs are not necessarily a good fit for somebody who's an older worker.
I think that's the reality of it, and, practically speaking, I don't know how many older people are actually applying to be movers for a company like this. But, when we're talking about someone who's in college, technically that could be really anybody. It's not necessary to the age, right? So I think there are ways that are kind of more specific that really have nothing to do with those prohibited things like age, race, gender, et cetera.
So what does a company like this do if the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission sues them and they lose? What do they have to do now?
Well, I mean, the EEOC will often have some stipulations like we want you to do X kind of training, we want you to do change your policies or your practices. But as you may have seen, kind of what made the headlines is that they were asking for $15 million. So I think that's kind of the chief priority there. And they really don't, sue that many companies. So for some reason, this one kind of caught their attention and made the cut.
Interesting. All right. Javier Pérez. Thank you, Javier. Always good talking with you.
You as well. Thanks for having me.